What's up? Oh my God. So guys, what just happened with Fortnite? Yesterday marked the penultimate event of Season 10 and the end of Chapter 1. And what I wanted to do in today's video is go through and explain everything that happened. I've been working on the storyline stuff for a lot, and I think I finally got it. So yeah, what this video is going to be is basically an explanation of what actually happened yesterday. Also, I'm going to be doing a huge timeline video on Saturday or Sunday explaining the entire Chapter 1 storyline. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for that. And join the other 80,000 people who have subscribed to the channel in the last 24 hours. So let's get into it and just do a quick recap of everything that happened in Season 10. At the beginning of Season 10, the 0-point sphere exploded, causing a merging of time and space. Different timelines from different universes and different moments in our own timeline merged together. There were different timeline versions of the characters we knew brought into our universe. And different moments from our linear timelines, such as the meteor and the island, were merged together as well. Everything pinched together to create a different island from what we had been playing on from Seasons 1 through 9. As an analogy to understand this, imagine two people trying to go through a small door at once. We had interdimensional matter colliding, which are the two people trying to go through the door at once. There's so much matter trying to go through a place at once that it all got stuck together, like two people trying to go through a door, and then you have the pinching of the map as we knew it. But see, the pinching of the map should only have been a brief, momentary thing. Fortunately for us with the storyline, time was paused. You see, the reason time was paused was because there was an entity stuck outside of time and space itself, the Visitor. So you guys remember way back in Season 4, the Visitor made the rocket go up and basically he flew around going rift through rift, and then he just disappeared? Well, when he teleported through that last rift, he and the rocket were sent to the in-between. He was pushed outside of time and space. And because there was an entity outside of time and space, or rather entities, which I'll get to in a second, this effectively paused this moment in time. And getting back to multiple entities, the Visitor was not the only one to do this. See, again, we have multiple timelines all going on here. In fact, 7. So in another one of these timelines, the exact same thing happened, but a different entity was the driver of the rocket. In another timeline, we know that a very similar thing happened, but instead of the Visitor being the one to launch the rocket, it was Paradigm, a skin recently featured in the shop. So 6 other timelines with 6 other entities and 6 other rockets. And because they were sent to the in-between, this paused the moment of expansion. Now, the Visitor that we know was able to somehow get back into that paused moment in time, and he used the science that had been teleported to our map, which were the mechs, to upgrade him mechanically, turning himself into the scientist. This makes our 7. So he then went around the map, setting up rift zones or bridges to these other 6 timelines, or 6 other universes you can think of them as. He then went about his own plan of constructing a new rocket. This time, instead of at the villain base, at Dusty Depot. But there was one issue that he had with this. Because time was paused, the scientist wasn't going to be able to launch the rocket with time paused. He had to push himself back into the loop and hit the rocket launch button. But in doing so, he would lose his memory, thus giving us the tape that he left for himself. See, in the last video, guys, I said it was the Visitor, but that was a mistake. It was actually the scientist that we heard who gave us that audio transcription. Anyways, though, he re-entered the loop, and at the moment the timer hit 0, he pressed the launch button. And this is what brought us to yesterday, October 13th. And the timer reaches 0, and just like in Season 4, he sends the rocket high up into the sky. And so again, just like in Season 4, the gigantic energy of the rocket causes another rift. And this causes the rocket to do exactly what it did again in Season 4. But this time, there's more than one rocket. In opening the rift, the scientist effectively allowed the other 6 existing rockets within the in-between back into our universe. Dude. So that rocket that we saw go up in Season 4 had been waiting in the in-between until this moment, and along with the other 5 was then transported into our timeline to fly around the map. And just like it did in Season 4, it flew around and around and around, except this time the scientist had better control of it than ever. He manages to take control of both the rifts and the rockets, creating a trail leading from behind the meteor to around it. The rockets fly around and around the meteor until so much energy is built up that it rifts the meteor away. But where the rift opens up is above the 0 point sphere. Now, very interestingly, as this happens, all the other rockets fly away to safety, but the meteor comes crashing straight down. The meteor makes contact with the rift zone, and it's enough energy to slow it down, but not completely stop it, and the meteor breaks through. The monumental energy of the meteor crashes into the 0 point sphere, causing a black hole. The entire map, universe, and multiverse for its sake is destroyed. It's sucked into a void. And then there is almost nothing. Because somehow, some way, the scientist manages to live. And within minutes of the black hole forming, he starts sending a message. 11, then 146, then 15, and then 62. It's a code. It's a code from his original transcript. If you match each number to the tape recording transcript that we were given, it gives us a sentence. I was not alone. But then, 2 hours later, we're given another message. 87, 14, 106, 2, 150. There are others outside the loop. Then 2 hours later at 9:09 p.m. Eastern, we get even more. 69, 146, 1536. This was not calculated. And then lastly, at 11:09 Eastern, we get our final digits. 2, 176, 8, 160, 65. The nothing is now inevitable. So, the really important question that we don't quite have an answer to yet is, what does that mean? Well, I think that this code from the scientist is a bit of a reference to his original transcript. See, in the original transcript, he says, I suspect they, in reference to the 7, are not the only ones watching. See, he was already aware of an entity apart from his 7. And in this new message he sent us, he's basically confirming it, that he was not alone, and that there were others besides himself outside of the loop. Maybe he's just simply referencing the 7 who were stuck in the in-between, or maybe he's talking about an entirely separate entity. Maybe it's Singularity or the Enforcers or some group or person that we don't even know about. At this point, we can't really say for sure because we just haven't been given enough information. But regardless, because of this, it made an error in his calculation. And this may be simply due to the existence of other entities, or more so, it could have been these other entities actively working against him, but regardless, they messed up his plans. He says the nothing is now inevitable, as though we're trapped here forever, which to me kind of contradicts what he had already said. The final thing in his original transcript says,
the 0 point must be contained once more. If they are correct, it will be the end.
So to me, this led me to believe that he wanted the end to come, that he needed it for stability. And to me, I assumed that the end kind of meant nothing. But now we see this new message where it sounds like nothing is not good. He says it was not calculated. This to me implies that he didn't want nothing to happen. He wanted stability or something, and the existence of others, whether it be the 7 or whether it be an entirely different set of groups of entities, caused this to happen. Whether it was passively or actively, he did not get what he wanted. So that leaves us with the question, what did the scientist want? What are these others going to do? And most importantly, if the rumors of a new map are true, how are we going to get from where we currently are to the results of a new map if nothing is inevitable? Is Fortnite over? I definitely don't think so, but only time is going to tell as to what is going to happen with the rest of the storyline. And when it does, I'm going to do a video explaining the entire storyline from season 1 all the way through to the end of chapter 1. So make sure to subscribe for that. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like. And that's all we got today. We're going to be covering everything we can with the new chapter as soon as things come out. So be excited. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, you freaking nerds.